Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to attend this joint GSMA APAC and Europe Community webinar on intelligent manufacturing and production. So today, the theme is about industrial AI unlocked the mobile network advantage industry, powered by two community, the APAC 5G industry community, and also the headquarter manufacturing and production community. So mobile networks are transforming industrial AI application, enabling smarter, faster, more secure operation. So this virtual workshop and webinar will explore the synergy between AI-driven automation and advanced connectivity, highlighting real-world use case across manufacturing, production, logistics, and transportation sectors. Learn how 5G and edge computing empower predictive maintenance, remote monitoring, automation, and data-driven decision-making at scale. So my name is Terence Wong, heading the APAC 5G industry community. Today, my colleague, Jo Gilbert, she is working together with me to host this webinar. So we have a very good speaker from both APAC and Europe side. So after myself and Joe give you a quick introduction, we will have three presentations coming from Thailand, Indonesia, and also one from Europe. And then we have a panel discussion with our speaker also coming from both APAC and Europe, including some manufacturing company like Packagron, SI, LKH, Pesacon, and then of course also Ericsson. So if you have any question, please post your question in the Q&A box, as our speaker will try to answer online or follow up offline. So just remind you, post the question in the Q&A boxes, okay? So just quickly recap about GSMA APAC 5G industry community. This is an open platform for collaboration. We already have 1,000 organizations from government, mobile operator, enterprise, and technology solution provider. So welcome to join the community as you can learn and explore opportunity, not only in the APAC market, but also beyond. We encourage collaboration. We work with national alliance in different markets in APAC country. And then we also work with global alliance experts in different industry, including manufacturing, automotive, public safety, healthcare, drone. So more than 200 digital pioneers actively contribute by sharing their best practice and experience in using 5G to drive different industry for digital transformation. Here, we have 5 industry interest groups at the top, you can see, covering from manufacturing up to healthcare, transportation, energy resources, and of course, smart city as well. So this community already produced more than 30 case studies across different industry and market. In last month, we just published 4 new case studies coming from Thailand AIS. So today, the speaker will also talk about this case, how to deploy 5G mmWave in a manufacturing facility for transformation at scale. And then we also have another speaker coming from Telkomsel in Indonesia. They already deploy 5G to support digital transformation in smart ports and logistics. For the other cases, you can also download from this QR code if you want to know more. So for the community, actually, we are very active in the past few years. So we already working on the next 12 activity, not just on 2025, but also on 2026. So one of the event next on 2 weeks later, which is the Digital Nation Summit in Jakarta, we will also covering the topic on 5G and AI for digital transformation in transportation and manufacturing. And then, of course, Joe will talk about more on MWC Barcelona. And then we also have Digital Nation Tokyo. There will be also topic on manufacturing and transportation. And then we'll also have a partner event. We're working with TCCA on APAC, which is a physical event at Hong Kong, talking about critical communication for public safety, energy, and utility sector. So welcome to join the community. So I think for community, actually, it is free for access our resources and of course, join some of our community activity. Of course, we are very happy to raise your profile and showcase opportunity and business matching opportunity as long as you are really the digital pioneer and driving the digital transformation with the technology. So welcome to join us. Now, let me pass to Joe, who will talk about the GSMA connected manufacturing and production. Let me share the right to Joe. Over to you, Joe.
That's great. Thanks, Terence. I think I have that. And just give it a second. So yes, thanks so much. So Terence, yeah, your group focusing on the APAC region and the broad activities is really great to hear about. And it's great that every year we get together in November to do this joint event where we share our experiences across, well, specifically Europe in this case, and also APAC. So I look after the connected manufacturing and production community at the GSMA, and as you mentioned, that has more of a global focus and more of a focus on manufacturing and production. So we don't cover the healthcare topic like you do, but we do look at things like manufacturing, port, mining, kind of the industrial side of things. And one, oops, sorry. Let's click the wrong button. So our focus is around connecting the benefits of 5G and mobile technologies in this industrial sector. So I'm struggling to move the buttons on. Terence, I don't know.
Next, or I can have you
yeah,
to control.
maybe if you can take it and do the next slide, I think that would be great. Thank you. Brilliant, thanks. So in terms of our objectives, so we're bringing together mobile network operators, the enterprises, so the manufacturing and industrial organisations, and that broader ecosystem, so the vendors, the device manufacturers, the software suppliers. And we have kind of 5 pillars that we're working to. The first is around really understanding the business and the operational needs across that whole industrial value chain, so that the manufacturing sector and the telco sector can understand one another. Then we're really wanting to focus on being able to identify these innovative partnerships to really make the most of the technologies like the 5G, AI, robotics, edge computing, etc. We also have a focus around addressing and overcoming some of the barriers that we're seeing to digital transformation in the sector, and we are seeing those broken down, but there are still some more that we want to move through. And then, we're all about sort of celebrating and sharing successful implementations and use cases to really kind of drive the inspiration into the industry on how people can use this technology to drive up their digital transformation in the industrial sector. And then the final and really important pillar is about building relationships across the ecosystem. So as the GSMA, one of the things that we're really keen to do is convene these organisations, so organisations can meet together, collaborate, and unlock new opportunities that will help them to drive their business as well. So if we can maybe move to the next slide. Fabulous, thank you. So in the way that we run this, we have meetings, we have events, and we have activity work streams. So we run a quarterly meeting, which is available to GSMA members and some guest speakers. Our next one is coming up in December, and there's a QR code coming up for anybody to register for that. And we've also launched something new this year as well, which is the Industrial Knowledge Network. So this is actually open to everybody, members and non-members of the GSMA. And the purpose for this is there's 2 parts to it actually. The first part is around sharing insights from the GSMA around the industrial side of things. And the second part is to hear about all of the opportunities that you could have to speak at GSMA events and activities around manufacturing and production. There's another slide coming up on the next one there, so I'll pause there for the moment. In terms of events, we also have a number of events, including this brilliant webinar, but also MWC, as Terence, you already mentioned. The big one each year in terms of size is Barcelona, and we have a full day manufacturing summit at MWC Barcelona. It will be next year. It will be held on day one, which is on the Monday, but we also often run a summit at MWC Shanghai, sometimes at Las Vegas. Maybe Doha will be on the horizon for next year as well. I mentioned the webinar, and we also attend external events as well, such as Hanover Messe. And then the final kind of element in terms of what we do in the Connect to Manufacturing and Production is work on particular workstream activities. So this is an opportunity for us to bring together specialists from our membership organisations to work on a particular topic. So, for example, this year we've done a couple of papers around network APIs. In the past, we've looked at things like private networks, for example. So there's always things going on. Next year, we're looking potentially at cybersecurity, potentially identity, industrial IoT, RedCap. So, you know, if there's any of those topics are interesting, then come and be part of our community and get involved with that and help share, lead the thought leadership around that. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Oh yes, just very briefly, one of the things we really do like to do is encourage in-person meetings for networking and collaboration. And in the last couple of years, for example, we've run at least 2 events a year where we've brought people together at various locations to collaborate, run in-person workshops, and see demos and that kind of thing. So a couple of images from the last 2 years we've got there. Okay, if we can go to the next slide, I think this really is just a link to our next meeting. So if you would like to join our next forum meeting, it's on the 17th of December. The QR code will take you to the page to register. We're quite excited about this December forum. We will be focusing for the first time on emerging digital economies and some of the opportunities and challenges there. So as I've mentioned, the forum meetings are available to GSMA members only and invited guests. But if you are interested in being part of that community, then and you're not a GSMA member, then we'll be happy to chat to you about that. And then I think the final slide from me is the link to the Industrial Knowledge Network meeting. So if we can move to my last slide, please. So this is a QR code that will take you to the registration for the Industrial Knowledge Network. As I've mentioned, this is the meeting that's open to members and non-members. It's a real opportunity to hear the latest insights on the manufacturing and industrial intersection with telecoms, with insights from GSMA Intelligence, and then also a chance to hear about speaking opportunities or opportunities to participate in our paper creations or webinars and that kind of thing. This is a really interesting meeting for maybe marketing leads, PR people that are looking to place speakers, as well as people that are interested in the manufacturing topic directly. So we definitely encourage people to register and join us for that. And the next one is going to be on the 14th of January. Okay, so I think that's the last for me. Terence, I think my last slide is a thank you slide. So I'll hand back to you so we can start to hear from our guest speakers today.
Yes, thanks, Joe. Now let me introduce our next guest speaker. From Ponsaton, Pimo, the head of Telco Network and Business Solution. He's from Advanced Info Services, AIS, which is the leading mobile operator in Thailand. He's going to talk about high-band 5G-enabled real-time factory automation. So over to you, Ponsaton. Yes, I can see you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Felix. Yeah, let me share for the high-band 5G that we successfully deployed in Thailand. Before that, let's start with the evolution of the digital manufacturing industry. Now, manufacturing is in a state of the transition to the Industry 4.0 that you know already. They apply the IoT, AI, robotics, and automation into the production system. Yeah, but for the Industry 5.0 now is the conceptual, focusing on the collaboration between the human and advanced technology like the AI. Okay. This is the use case that for the Industrial 4.0 and 5.0, uh, productivity and quality improvement, automation, workforce, all of them is require the digital technology to deliver those use cases. 5G is the one of them. This slide is from the McKinsey. I wanted to show you that from the McKinsey, the connectivity and infrastructure is the key foundation to offer to deliver the machine intelligence, as the robotic and AI and automation is the key foundation for the Industry 4.0. 5G, of course, 5G capability. 5G capability is the key foundation for the Industry 4.0 and 5.0 as well. Mobility, wireless, coverage is the uniqueness, comparing with the other connectivity. For the high bandwidth, low latency, of course, is better than 4G. Yeah, and reliability and the security, is no doubt already that based on the 5G license plan and the encryption based on the 5G technology, the reliability and security is a good one. Yeah. And last but not least, I would like to mention about the privacy as well. And for the 5G capability, we also successfully deploy the 5G dedicated private network in the customer factory as well. Yeah, they require for the privacy. They don't want their data out of their factory. So the privacy is the key thing that get for the Industry 4.0 and 5.0. Before I go to the use case that we successfully deploy in Thailand, AIS have the various 5G frequency band from the low band to the high band. So based on this capacity of AIS, so we can offer the various network solutions regarding the customer demand and budget. For the 5G high band mmWave, we successfully deploy for the industrial network. As Ariane Grande is our customer. Let's see the video.
My name is Ben Dobbs. I work for Alliance Laundry Systems here in Thailand. Alliance Laundry is the oldest commercial laundry manufacturer in the world, over 120 years old, as a company based out of Wisconsin in the US. And we manufacture premium commercial laundry solutions for the globe. And as the world leading manufacturer of commercial laundry equipment, Alliance Laundry is continually producing advanced technological solutions, innovative solutions, and energy efficient commercial laundry equipment. So our manufacturing facility here in Thailand over the last 4 to 5 years has been in a process of implementing smart manufacturing, or manufacturing 4.0. This is a process of really making live data available to our management team, to our leaders in our manufacturing facility. This allows us as a team to make instant decisions that are accurate, both improving and making more efficient manufacturing, which gives us a better product for our customers in a quicker lead time. And so we selected AIS to be our business partner here in our Thailand manufacturing facility since 2018 at the start of our construction. Using their mobile phone service, we've gotten reliable communication in both domestic and overseas. We're also using 5G mmWave internet technology, guaranteed speed, and this provides a high-performing wireless internet, ensuring that All of our more than 300 devices are always online, connected to our global system effectively. We've also considered using their MPLS internet service as we need reliability, good speed, good price for our main internet network to link our systems globally across the US and the Czech Republic facility in Europe. AIS has a very professional team that work with us and respond quickly once we ask and need for help. The future business goals for Alliance Laundry Systems is we will continue to embrace technology that allows us to produce technological solutions both at our manufacturing level with smart manufacturing, but at our product level with sustainable solutions, providing our customers with energy efficiency, their capability to grow as a business throughout the region.
Okay. Yeah. For this customer, they are looking for the second media as the wireless. They have the fiber as the main media. Yeah. They are looking for the wireline and wireless. Yeah, in their factory. They also looking for the high speed 300 megabit per second for upload and download. Yeah, when to use for the AI, CCTV AI regarding the safety detection and also the AGV in their factory. When we see the very high speed 300 megabit per second for upload, so we decide to use the 5G mmWave to provide the solution regarding their requirements. This is the high level topology. Yeah. As I mentioned, the first media they use the fiber lead line, and the second media they're looking for the wireless, with the high speed, and they run the active redundancy. This is the 5G mmWave installation. We use the outdoor mmWave cell site, and we also for the CPE installation in the customer site. We also use the outdoor CPE. The runoff site between the CPE and the mmWave cell site is necessary. And also we implement the parabolic antenna at the CPE site, to increase the signal strength. Because the mmWave band is the signal strength is quite important. This is a site survey also required to deliver the service to the customer. We, as I mentioned, we use the mmWave cell site outdoor echo cell, and the engineering team site survey and show the throughput, based on the various location. You can see that if in the distance is short, so the throughput is good. But if the distance is far from the cell site, the throughput is the lower. So the customer decide to select the number 3 for the CPE installation. This one I would like to show that not only the 5G high band that can deliver the use case in the industrial 4.0, the mid band can also enable the industrial automation as well. Let's see the video for this case.
ที่ SCG เราเชื่อในการสร้างอนาคตที่ธุรกิจและสิ่งแวดล้อมที่ยั่งยืนเดินควบคู่ไปกับการสร้างสรรค์นวัตกรรมด้วยความร่วมมือกับ AIS ผู้ให้บริการโครงสร้างพื้นฐานดิจิทัลชั้นนำสู่การสร้างนวัตกรรมระบบขนส่งยานยนต์ไร้คนขับอัจฉริยะขับเคลื่อนด้วยเทคโนโลยี 5G ที่จะมาช่วยพลิกโฉมอุตสาหกรรมในประเทศไทยให้ก้าวไปอีกขั้นการรับส่งข้อมูลแบบเรียลไทม์และการประมวลผลที่แม่นยำผ่านเครือข่าย 5G ทำให้รถบรรทุกเครื่องยนต์ไฟฟ้าไร้คนขับขับเคลื่อนไปข้างหน้าได้อย่างราบรื่นตามทิศทางและแผนงานที่กำหนด ทุกความเคลื่อนไหวสามารถติดตามและใช้ประกอบการตัดสินใจให้เกิดประสิทธิภาพสูงสุดด้วยระบบการจัดการขนส่งอัจฉริยะหรือ Intelligent Dispatching System การทำเหมืองจะปลอดภัยขึ้นทันสมัยขึ้นและมีประสิทธิภาพมากกว่าเดิมโซลูชันระบบขนส่งอัตโนมัตินี้จะช่วยลดความเสี่ยงในการทำงานช่วยยกระดับให้เกิดความราบรื่นในการดำเนินงานและพร้อมต่อยอดเพื่อมุ่งสู่เป้าหมายความเป็นกลางทางคาร์บอนในอนาคตเทคโนโลยี 5G จาก AIS หัวใจสำคัญในการสร้างสรรค์นวัตกรรมนี้ให้เกิดขึ้นได้ 5G คือเทคโนโลยีที่มีความเร็วสูงความหน่วงต่ำครอบคลุมพื้นที่กว้างและสามารถใช้งานได้อย่างมีประสิทธิภาพแม้ในภูมิประเทศที่ท้าทายเหนือกว่าเครือข่ายอื่นที่ไม่สามารถเข้าถึงได้ AIS 5G ทำให้เกิดระบบการควบคุมอัตโนมัติเต็มรูปแบบช่วยให้สามารถควบคุมตรวจสอบและดำเนินการได้แบบเรียลไทม์ทำให้ต้นทุนเชื้อเพลิงลดลงถึง 75% ลดการปล่อยคาร์บอนได้ 35% และเพิ่มประสิทธิภาพการดำเนินงานขึ้น 20% เพิ่มศักยภาพสู่มาตรฐานการบริหารจัดการให้ปลอดภัยมากขึ้นชาญฉลาดและมีความยั่งยืน SCG และ AIS ร่วมสร้างอนาคตที่เป็นมิตรต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมและยั่งยืนไปด้วยกัน
This is the smart mining use case that we successfully deploy in the real operation of customer. Sorry. One more. Oh, sorry. Okay. The use case is the automation EV trucks and the remote control excavator. That's required the low latency. We prove that is work smoothly with the 5G. For the customer the benefit, you can see in this video already. The better productivity on the trucks utilization, cost saving from the unmanned and the fuel consumption saving. Yeah, that's all. That's all my slide today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Panaton. I think it's a very good presentation on how 5G on both high band and mid band being used to support various sectors. It's very interesting. So there are some questions on the Q&A boxes to you. So I just remind the attendants, if you have question, you can put the question to the Q&A boxes, and the speaker and the assistant will try to answer you online. If not enough time, then we can also follow up offline. So now let me introduce the next speaker. Coming from Nokia, Cohen, this is Les, head of partner sales in Europe. So he's going to talk about empowering digitalization journey for industry. Let me pass the control to you.
Thank you, Terence.
Yes, Cohen, you got it.
All right. So there's three things I want to talk about in my part today. I'm trying to move the slide, but
is it okay now?
It's not moving.
Maybe you say next, I help you.
Okay, I think now it is.
Yeah, I see your mouse moving. Yes.
Yes. All right. So as I said, three parts. So first, I want to touch on what are the main drivers for industry customers in their digitalization journey. And then I want to go down in what are the use cases today that we see for our customers. Bear in mind that I will be talking today only about real world use cases, so things that we have actually implemented with live customers. And then to make that concrete, I will end with three case studies on three different customers that have implemented these use cases. And I'll also share a lot of data points in terms of ROI that customers have achieved by implementing these use cases. So let's try it again. All right, it's working now. So as you can see on this slide, some of the main drivers for industry customers, some of course are very generic also to other verticals like cost reductions. Others are more specific like environment, like workforce transformation, and so on. Interestingly enough, we've seen really an acceleration of the adoption of these use cases in the last 2 years. So where before that customers were more in a trial mode and setting up the network and testing what they can do, we now really see more and more live deployments of interesting applications that are providing these business benefits. And to back that up with some data here, this comes from a report, a survey actually by Global Data done earlier this year. At the end of the presentation, I'll share with you the link so you can get the full report for yourself. They've done this survey, by the way, for a few consecutive years. So we are getting quite consistent information with what has been responded in previous years. And the first conclusion that jumps to the eye is that almost all customers see a positive ROI within the first 2 years. 87% sees the ROI even within 1 year, right? So that's quite impressive. The rest of the slide, how you should read it, is of those respondents that have implemented the use case, for instance, of increased worker collaboration. 86% has seen an improvement of at least 10% in that domain. So these are the 6 areas where we see most traction for the moment, and where customers are indeed being able to measure these business benefits, which is important because that helps other customers on their journey to make these decisions and help them make their business case. And obviously, a forum like today, I think, is very important to share this kind of successes across the industry. Now, let me move down a bit more into those use cases and make them more concrete. And starting for this part with a chemical plant. I know it's quite a busy slide, so I'm not going to go through all the blocks here, but these are then typically the use cases that we see as relevant for a customer in that sector. Again, some of these use cases might be common with other verticals, but we see the same type of challenges arising with these customers at the same time of use cases where they're really interested for. And I'll start now an animated video to zoom into some of those for, again, a chemical plant type of environment, and then guide you through what is then the underlying solution and the products that allows us to really put this in place. Again, these are real-world applications and help the customer get that positive return. All right, so at the bottom of the slides or of the video, you can see those different use cases. We will start with worker safety as one. Trying to post a slide here. All right. So worker safety is a quite broad domain, and it is composed of different solution areas, which should now pop up at the right side of the slide. So you see there are critical communications, geopositioning, situational awareness, etc. So we'll go through some of them as an example. Critical communications, so this is allowing workers to use push to talk, push to video, or messaging to either call for help or assist with any workers that get in a dangerous situation. Next, geopositioning, of course, is extremely important to be able to Sorry, let me try to get the video back where we were. Right. So, oh. All right, so hopefully now it stays. Geopositioning, extremely important, is of course to identify at all times where workers are on a plant, but also this allows to identify dangerous areas, put geofencing in place, and then connect this with alerts to make sure that workers are warned either not to go in certain areas or to warn the control room that certain people have accessed zones where they shouldn't be going into. Lone worker protection and man-down support. This keeps happening every time I pause the video. Sorry for that. Let me see if I can click through a bit. Right. So as I said, lone worker protection, man-down support, this is about also then monitoring the status of a worker. That can be using biometric data, can also be using specific data coming from devices like gyroscopes, etc., to detect whether they have been in some kind of a shockwave or are lying down on the floor, and again then triggering alerts and calling for an intervention. Moving then into the solutions that underpin this these use cases, and I'm not going to cover them all of them, but starting with I'm just past it now, but not going to go back this time. So TeamComms is our push to talk, push to video application that allows to respond in certain situations or allow workers to call for help. This is one of many applications. Now, we don't deliver all applications. That's not our ambition. We do deliver some of them to make sure that we have the use cases in place, but we work as well with ecosystem partners to complement that. The applications are on our Edge platform, which you can see at the middle of these slides. So TeamComms was one example. We have a few others that I will come down to the rest of the presentation. This sits, of course, on top of the network connectivity, which can be 5G, 4G, but also Wi-Fi. So we can integrate with that and use the best technology depending on the situation, and then connect with the local OT environment for the automation or with other applications sitting in the cloud. So this is a platform where customers build on, and that is the same platform that we will then use for different use cases, which makes it then very easy for a customer once they've started out with the network to add then more use cases afterwards and increase also that return on investment. I'll try to start again. Right, so going to a second example, again, still for a chemical plant, that would be augmented worker. So there are, again, different solutions underpinning that, which can be providing data depending on the context, allowing, for instance, workers to do preventive maintenance. It can also be providing them with remote support. For instance, a more experienced colleague can then assist them with certain complex operations. That person can be sitting in a central control room, could also be sitting somewhere in a different place, even a different site in the world. If then I move to the next example of use cases, that would be a mining operation is of course fundamentally different than a chemical plant. I won't go in too much detail here, but of course we've seen the video in the previous presentation, and I also have a case study at the very end of the presentation. So we'll go into some of the use cases more relevant to our mining customers. So I think I've covered the platform. Maybe one more application I would like to very quickly touch on is Nokia MX Context. So, and this is about using sensor fusion and powered with AI, making sure that we combine data available from different sources, different assets. Again, here focused on worker safety. So as said, location is extremely important. Obviously, we can do positioning based on the network, but we can also combine this with data from other sources like GPS to come to a very accurate positioning of every worker at every time. As I said, it's about monitoring the status of workers using different data to make sure that they are not in a difficult situation. It's combining that with data coming from sensors. For instance, if we know that in a certain area of a chemical plant, there has been a gas leak, that can be automatically linked with who is in that area using the location to make sure that we can send them messages to these workers and then in the next step provide assistance if necessary. So like I said before, these are our live applications that we now have installed with different customers where we are now seeing also the benefits. All right, so let me then to end my part, because I think I'm a few minutes over time, so we'll run through these use cases as fast as I can. Starting with BASF. So BASF, of course, being one of the leading chemical groups for their site here in Antwerp. A few years ago, they decided to put in place a network to really move forwards with digitalization. They quickly ruled out using the public network. First of all, this is a very large site, it's 6 kilometers in length. Obviously, lots of very high metal structures made it impossible to use a service provider network. So they decided to build their own private 5G network. They had very high demands in terms of availability. So the network had to be completely redundant. And from the start, they were planning to implement no less than 20 use cases. They trimmed that down to 5 for the initial deployment. So all these 5 use cases, happy to say, have been successfully already installed, and they now keep adding more use cases from their list as they go forward. BASF, much like some of the other respondents of the survey that we talked about, have met their ROI goals within the first 2 years. And this is not only about, for instance, increasing automation and thereby achieving efficiencies. It's also about reducing carbon footprint. It's about other environmental KPIs they had set, like improving water quality, and last but not least, worker safety. Moving from Europe to the US now, but staying in the chemical sector, another customer of ours is Dow Chemical. They were struggling with some of their applications being slow, even having frequent system crashes, which were hindering their operations, of course, but were also causing frustration with their workers and obviously also reducing worker productivity. So in 3 of their sites, they have installed a LTE private network. On the back of that, they were able to improve the performance of their applications. They've reduced downtime by 50% and improved employee productivity by 16%. But also important, they've also improved employee satisfaction because people were a lot happier using tools that actually work and having all the data at hand at the right time. So they've seen also that boost in end user experience. And my last case study for today I wanted to touch on, as promised, is a mining case. and then I go to Asia for Komatsu. So Komatsu wanted to automate their haulage system a couple of years ago. For that, they installed again a private LTE network. Obviously, for automated vehicles, it's extremely important to have a network that is everywhere available, also has an extremely low latency, has a high bandwidth because you're also using it for monitoring and so forth. So they were very happy to have their automated haulage system installed at the back of this network, achieving, for instance, a 50% improvement in productivity, also an improvement in cost by 10 to 15%. Very important, they had a zero accident track record during 13 years because of this. The fact that they now can rely on a carrier-grade network also fantastically reduced the number of communication errors. So again, a customer who has seen a combination of business improvement in terms of operational efficiency, but also worker safety in this case. So with that, I think I've already run out of time. So on my last slide here, I've got the links as promised to the Industrial Digitalization Report by Global Data. So there you can find more examples of ROI data provided by the responding users, as well as in more detail, the BASF case study that I touched on in the slides earlier. So I hope this was useful. So thank you. And obviously, if there's questions, please put them in the Q&A and I will try to get back to you.
Thanks, Cohen. I think it's a very comprehensive illustration on different kind of industry, how they adopt the technology, and do see a lot of intelligence and automation were already achieved. Great work. So yes, there are many questions in the Q&A boxes. Please go to the Q&A boxes to look at some questions to you. I see some people also leave the question in the chat box. So I suggest you guys better to post a question in Q&A boxes, easier for speaker to follow up. So for the speaker, if you have time, you can also look at some question in the chat box as well. Yeah. So now let me introduce next speaker, coming from Indonesia, Fadi Hamsani, the GM Enterprise Customer Solution Management from Telkomsel. He's very experienced. He's moved from manufacturing sector into telco sector. He's a mix of a domain expert. Now he's going to talk about smart port transformation in Indonesia with 5G and AI. So Fadi, you can start. I can control the slide for you.
Thank you very much, Terence. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So thanks, Terence, for this chance to share some experience about what happening in Indonesia. Next slide, please, for my slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, thank you. Maybe a bit to introduce about myself, why it's important, I guess, to share a bit. It's about the things that maybe for the next time we can connect for some share in terms of the best practices. I'm more 15 years in the manufacturing, run the smart manufacturing, also some industrial activity. I'm leading the enterprise business in Telkomsel, all the vertical industry, including the manufacturing, mining. And today, I'm not sharing about the smart manufacturing, but I will share more on the smart port, another journey by the end-to-end, as we know in the value chains and also in the supply chains. Normally, it will be connected between the manufacturing side and another value chains of the entire system. So next slide, please. So if you look on the introduction a bit about the Telkomsel, where we are now, as I said previously, that we in Indonesia, I think it's from last 2 years back, we already deployed the smart manufacturing powered by the 5G and AI for several vertical industry and also several sectors. The first is in the automotive. In the Toyota, we already share also with GSMA our best practices that we share about the smart factory program with 5G support to enablers that computer vision, AI, vision inspection for the ergonomic and also for the quality, and also some the automatic guide vehicles or AGV or AMRs, the robotic system, massive about the IoT and several use cases on the Toyota. And also with the one of the electronics manufacturing, I think it's Vegatron is here also. We also have some experience together with them to deploy the smart factory program. And also in the mining industry, in Telkomsel, also we deploy the smart mining. That again, it's happy to see also some of the use cases from Bangkok, Thailand, that have another use cases on the smart mining. So that's a Telkomsel that we start to adopt more and more AI in our use cases, which is we understand very well that with this AI adoption, it will be pushing more as a use case the utilization of the 5G. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so I think we agree. All of us agree that now we need to moving forward not only on the connectivity but focus more on the data, and we push ourselves become a platform for innovation. So where we move forward in Indonesia perspective today, we start to push on the last 2 years back more and more the 5G adoption, not only for the B2C, but also for the B2B. And we combine between the B2B and the B2C utilization on the 5G. And of course, we try to convergence between the IoT and the AI on our networks and our use cases, utilize the cloud rising more, giving more beneficial of the latency and also the high reliability. Next. So if you look on where is the drivers coming from, of course, before I go to share about our use cases on the smart port because of the demand, smart manufacturing because of the demand, and also when we talk about the smart mining because of the safety, because of the personalization and etc., we make the connected worker and everything. So the technology is shipped, the competition is there, and also about the regulation. Next. And another point is about the opportunity. We look on today, especially in Indonesia, where I can share to you, the vertical industry like manufacturing is contribute almost 16 to 17% of our GDP. And also the mining, the smart mining also same. It's contribute almost 11% of our national GDP. And why I share today about the smart port, when we talk about smart mining, when we talk about the smart mining and also the smart manufacturing, it will be connect with the smart port. So everything's on their value chains, it will be connected. So that's why we start our journey more and more on past half years, focus and support the smart port to utilize our smart 5G and also to push more and more the AI utilization application. Next. One of the important and very interesting normally is talking about the driver. In Indonesia, the massive population and mobile penetration is become more higher. And also we are happy because the government also push the industry 4.0 adoption and make a national vision on industrialization in agriculture, in energy business, and of course, the manufacturing is a part of that. That's one of our presidents push the national vision on industrialization. So by this, the enabling the IoT and digital tools is become a massive. The supporting for the smart city, the smart port infrastructures also become a nation vision on the industrialization. That's why the building the 5G use cases in the smart manufacturing, smart mining, which is a Telkomsel already deployed for several customers on that. And now we are ours on the journey to push on the smart port and the next step also on the smart healthcare. Next. So now we share about the smart port, what we have. We just start this in a few months ago. Next. So we try to understand what is the value chains of the smart port itself. We talk about the environment monitoring. We talk about the operation. We talk about the asset management. We try to categorize where they are. And we try to identify what is the technology can support. And of course, we need to understand what is their pain point. We talk about the connectivity, the private network, which is a 4G or 5G, the IoT, sensors, big data, cloud, AI, and cybersecurity. Next slide. So by our team in Telkomsel, in my team, especially for the solution engineering and solution architect, we try to understand an overall of the port operation process. The sites, container crane, the AGV that they have, the berths, gantry crane, container yard, and we identify what kind of the solution that they require on container management solution, for example. They require to do the automate container identification, the real-time containers location for the tracking, the remote, and also the containers damage inspection. A few weeks ago, I have a discussion also with the authorities, the port authority. They required about the damage inspection, which is again, the AI will be deployed there and the latency is required and the 5G is one of the enablers. Asset management solution, the connected workforce, which is we already success on the mining industry. We will replicate and copy paste this also on the port, smart port use case and smart port project. Next. So what is their challenge? In Indonesia, especially for the port in Indonesia, we understood that 52% of the terminals operators see the improving yard operation is a key. And we see on all the numbers on the right side, 70% talking about the terminals operators, how and why and how they want to do the optimization. They believe their assets need to be monitored to make it more optimized. That's also their challenge. So by all these kind of things, at this journey, I can say to you that we still not can fulfill all the solution yet, because honestly speaking, we are still on the journey. We try to put our hand on decreasing the cost, the port congest solution, and also the equipment filer turntime solution. We focus on that, what we can do on the vessel and truck. We try to monitor their asset. We try to put some of the predictive maintenance on the another point. We try to see the operators. They try to see the all the assets that come and go from the port itself. So again, use cases now on the journey. We are moving forward to look on where is the beneficial for our customers. Next. So from what we understand and what we did in Indonesia, we start to make a journey by the capability to give a data. So we talk with our customers, and the first stage, we need to build the capability for port to take the data, what we call data generation. What we will use, of course, we use the IoT, we use the real-time tracking their vehicle, real-time asset tracking, and etc. For what? To collect the data. When we have the data, we will do the decision making. What we will do, what we will use. We use the AI, we make a predictive logistic optimization, the driver, the cargo analytic, and etc. It's a part of our journey. What is the next step and what we did, what we do together with our customers? The connected worker with the smart glass, the smart wearable devices, on top our connectivity, augmented reality, and of course also some of the collaborative robot is there. And the next journey, the ultimate is the autonomous vehicle. Again, the autonomous crane, digital twin that we have done in the mining industry and the manufacturing industry. We will copy paste this also, connect to their terminal operation system, what we call the TOS for the port management. Next. So how Telkomsel support smart port in Indonesia. Next. In our experience, we try to categorize by these 3 points. The first one, of course, our core, connectivity and infra. We talk about the private network, 5G, network infra, public and 5G, and also the mobile edge computing. On the AIoT, the AGV on top of that we have an experience for that in manufacturing and also in mining, for the fleet management, the field control management, the waste management, the asset tracking that we already experienced, run all this solution on top of the 5G on the smart manufacturing and the smart mining. And of course, we also push on the digital services and the platform, on the security, the analytic platform, utilize the CCTV with AI and etc. Next. So that's 3 main pillars that we try to push on the smart port on our journey today, based on our experience that we deploy the 5G in the manufacturing and the mining. We try to connect all the use cases on top of our private network 5G in Indonesia. Next. So where is our solution and what we deliver to the customers on the smart port? Intang is the solution to enable all the tank monitoring solution for the asset inventory in the shipyard or in the port. The fleet management is to utilize the fleet management system from the command centers, and also for all the truck or all the vehicle that monitoring on the area of the port itself. The smart wearable we use to monitor the workers, not only to track the workers in terms of the location, geofence, but also to monitoring the health of the employee itself. Because some of the user customers, they're required to do that. The IoT analytics, the touch to talk that running on top of the 5G, the IoT drone that they want to make some surveillance, the smart visions, computer vision AI, and energy management using our IoT environment. Next. So that's the use cases that today we deployed in the smart port. The facial recognition, the containers detection and the plate numbers detection for the vehicle on the entry gates, and the 5G AR assistant for their remote assistance for some of the use cases, and C-deep level sensors, the IoT fleet, and the smart dashboard on top of the 5G as a part of the digital twin that connected and integrate all the use cases. Next. So there's several cases. I think it's quite sometimes in several use cases we know already how the face recognition running not only on top of the 5G but also on top of the 4G. I think that's something that's happened quite sometimes already. Next slide. And also we use also the plate vehicle and containers detection, which is the customers required to know not only the counting, but they want to understand which suppliers, which vendor, which stakeholder that come and entry on the area of the port and etc. So some data inside that I cannot share to the audience here that required from the customers on top of the computer vision CCTV AI that we are running on the customer smart port. Next. So if I can summarize on the where we put this solution as a part of the ecosystem, end-to-end ecosystem. We already have the smart factory with 5G in our customers. We have an experience also on the mining. Now we start to push a journey on the smart port. The use cases is there, video surveillance for the analytics, the drone surveillance, and also combination of the wastewater management, the integrated remote operation or the command centers, and also the fleet management, the connected workers, and the AGV for several use cases that running on top of our private network 5G. So we try to combine, we try to learn, we try to make it is as ours end-to-end industrial ecosystem best practices. Next. I think that's what we can share today. And we are very happy to collaborate with all the stakeholders, the partners, the users, and share what we did in Indonesia. It's a part of the journey. I'm not saying we've done all, but now we start to push more and more best practices, learn from what we have done, and try to replicate from another vertical industry use cases to another vertical industry use cases, because normally they still same. They want to get a productivity, they want to get a efficiency, they want to get a sustainability. So that's our core, and we are willing to collaborate with all the stakeholders. Thank you very much. Back to you, Terence.
Thank you, Fatty. I think is again is a very good illustration on the journey Telkomsel have done in last few years, starting from manufacturing and mining, now go to port, and next year healthcare, right? So I think it's a lot of learning, and definitely looking forward for more experience from you to share in of course Digital Nation Summit at Jakarta. Welcome you guys to join and meet Fatty face to face. So now let me remind, if you want to have question to Fatty, please post the question in the Q&A box. Fatty, I see some question to you also in the chat box. So please take a look. Okay, finally, of course, most importantly, of course, we have a panel discussion. Now let me pass to Joe. I let her to introduce our panelists. So by the way, if you want to connect to the speaker and the panelists, I share the LinkedIn connection there. You can connect them. Over to you, Joe.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Terence, and thanks to Fadli. And actually, yeah, it's been some great presentations so far. Some great experts joining us, and I'm really delighted that we're continuing with the experts who are joining us for the panel. So thanks everybody. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on the industrial AI and the role of the mobile network. So joining me today for the panel, we have Colin Coe, Principal Consultant from LKH Precision. So Colin, I can't quite see you on screen at the moment. Hopefully you are there. And
hi everyone.
Hi, great. So fabulous. I can see you now, Colin. So Colin, you have a number of years experience in the manufacturing sector, particularly around Southeast Asia, and are also actually an author of a number of books around smart manufacturing and industrial AI. So we're delighted for you to join us. We also have Jayant Mokhi on the line. So Jayant is the AVP and Country Manager for Pegatron Electronics. So Pegatron, obviously a top tier manufacturer, also with a 5G smart factory deployed. And Pegatron are also a supplier of 5G networks. So experience from Jayant on both sides. And you've disappeared off the screen now, actually, Jayant, but I know that you're there. So hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there. And last but not least, we've got Todd Ashton. So Todd is Vice President and Head of Enterprise and Mission Critical at Ericsson. So Todd, you are looking after Europe, Middle East and Africa right now, but actually you also have some experience in the APAC region, and I think particularly Malaysia from previous experience that we were talking about. So welcome everybody. So without further ado, let's get cracking straight onto the questions. We've got about 23 minutes left of the session. So I wanted to start first of all by just setting the scene around the manufacturing realities and readiness. I mean, we've heard some great stuff today around that whole industrial sector and how manufacturing is making use of 5G and AI. But Colin, if I could come to you first, could you sort of set the scene? You probably want to build actually on what we've already heard today, but how is manufacturing evolving in the APAC region, especially when we're thinking about connectivity and AI?
Okay, I think the manufacturing has been quite active in APAC area, right? I think you know that, for instance, the first country who do a lot of these manufacturing activities, the Korean, Japanese, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia. I think we are catching up. So I think Singapore have been invest in a lot of industrial policies. So since 1960, we restart our manufacturing from a very low-end manufacturing, and we moved to the mid-end. Basically, our cost is getting higher. And I think recently we also have to move even higher. So we are moving into advanced manufacturing. So we have a policies that in a way that we still need to maintain our GDP components of the manufacturing I think all the less, more or less, I think the last 30 years, we have about 20% of the manufacturing actually contribute to our GDP, and we still want to maintain that. So even though you know that Singapore is such a small country, so the only thing we need to move into is to capture the high-end manufacturing, high-value, high-end manufacturing, just to maintain that components. So I think this is what happened. Of course, we are also looking at work with a lot of these Southeast Asia countries to ensure that we have a regional supply chain, because Singapore can only do some of the activities. So we need to work with other countries. For instance, certain plant in Singapore will be outsourced to Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and even Vietnam. So this is what happened in terms of the manufacturing. So I was involved in the manufacturing ecosystem since 1980. So I have seen through some up and down in terms of the technology as well as the so-called the technology adoptions in various countries. So that is the situation now. So basically, I think that moving forward, as you know, that the AI is getting a very strong push. So I call it industrial AI, right? So industrial AI is not new. Actually, we've been using industrial AI, or we call it classical AI in the manufacturing for the last 30 years. But with this new AI coming out from the generative AI and also the agentic AI, we are seeing more and more applications. But you know that the AI need a lot of data. So the traditional IoT, using the traditional, for instance, the network, cable network, Wi-Fi, and the Zigbee, some of these technology are still useful. But if you want to move into very high speed, able to connect very low latency and real-time data, I think this is where the 5G will come in very nicely. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, thanks for that. I think it's really interesting to see that there's still a lot of opportunity to, great strides being made in terms of the digital transformation, but still an awful lot of opportunity, and then a chance to bring in, these, as you're saying, these new types of AI that are consuming a lot of our thoughts right now. So Todd, maybe I could go to you then from the European perspective, even though I guess you probably have a view from both sides, but how is what we're seeing in the APAC region comparing to what you're seeing in terms of this digital transformation in the manufacturing and industrial sector in Europe, or even actually Europe, Middle East and Africa, perhaps, which is your whole area?
Yeah. No, I think there's definitely some regional differences. For example, when it comes down to how much mid-band penetration we have in every market. So you can imagine Africa's relatively low. Middle East has done very well. Of course, it's not a front runner in mid-band like India might be, where I think we could probably see quite a bit of manufacturing. And then Europe has done quite a good job there. But then we see in general a little bit more, factories for sure and manufacturing, but I think we see a lot more interest when it comes to ports, oil and gas, and then a number of critical infrastructure areas where we see big projects. Rail, there's two big projects, one for Europe and there's another one from India through GCC and into Europe. So I think that's just different depending on, what are the key things for the infrastructure. Like we were hearing from Telkomsel, the whole logistics chain is a really important area in terms of reducing the amount of time it takes to get goods, for example, to Europe, and the role the Middle East can play there. So, I think it's normal. There's some regional differences. I would fully expect, with my experience in Malaysia and the area around Penang there, that we would have a lot of interest in trying to make those manufacturing areas more efficient.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly why we love to bring this session every November, where we share the experiences across the two regions, because I think there's lots of opportunity to spark, ideas really on how different parts of the world are approaching challenges.
But I am encouraged. So, for example, we recently started a project with Airbus for two of the plants in Europe. So, I think we see this coming step by step in a lot of areas.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. Fantastic. So you mentioned India there as well, Jayant. I know India is your country manager for India over at Pegatron. Yes. So I just maybe though, I mean, please do talk to the Indian story, but actually, you know, regardless of the region, you have some significant experience in deploying these 5G solutions in and private networks in factories. What is the common challenge that you're seeing? So we've kind of talked about the differences, but what commonalities have you seen in terms of challenges that we can address?
Thank you, Joe. It says India for me, but I do handle customers from Europe all the way to Southeast Asia, including if opportunities in Middle East as well. So, but I am based in India. So having said that, yes, we do. And Park Fadli did mention about Pegatron in his presentation. And yes, we have done a smart factory together with Telkomsel in Batam, Indonesia. It's about 85,000 square meters. It's our flagship plant for Pegatron 5G devices. Some of the things that we see common challenge, you know, what we look at, I would say first and foremost, this is not a public network, right? So I think use cases and use cases drive this. What problems or what challenges is the industry or any given industry is trying to solve? What kind of performance that they require in terms of you know, the technical aspects, the latency, the uplink, downlink throughput, what would be the ROI or TCO, which would lead to different architectural solutions. And then obviously, depending on which part of the globe you are in, some of the spectrum can also, is it dedicated or is it public? That can also have an influence on certain technical aspects in terms of the kind of TDD slot structure that you can use. What sort of an expertise does the end user have? And do you want security aspects? Do you want to keep the data within your premises, or you're okay with the security that is inherent within 3GPP? And then, of course, if it's a greenfield, you have a clean slate, but most industries are brownfield, so they already have existing systems. And then this working together of the existing systems plus the IT/OT aspects that needs to be worked seamlessly. So I think there are, all of these things are at a very high level. Need to be looked at it from a network perspective. And another important aspect which we found, we see is the workers themselves within that factory, because you need to have the readiness and adaptation to new technologies such as private 5G or AI, etc. So, getting that competence up, that should not be, it should not be downplayed. That is also an important factor.
Fantastic. So yeah, I mean, we can come and talk, can't we, about sort of generally what's happening in APAC, generally what's happening in Europe. But I think what you're saying as well is there's no one size fits all in terms of when it really comes down to it, it's down to the company or the organization that has the solution, the challenge that they need a solution for. So yeah, I think we must bear that in mind whenever we're considering this. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so we've tried to set the scene a little bit. So let's kind of move on to talk more about the actual network and the role of the network or the connectivity, and particularly around the AI topic. So back to Todd. As the network, one of the network vendors on this panel, what makes a mobile network uniquely situated to industrial AI? It's a big question, but
yeah.
Oh, I think we've frozen there for a second.
normal, let's say, mobile broadband type business, right? So a consumer may not care so much about latency, but 5G provides this really ultra low latency. Why might that matter? Well, for example, if you are doing, there would be a lot of reasons to connect oil platforms, for example. But if a oil pipeline is vibrating, you would need to be able to very quickly, using AI and the different sensors you would have put onto the pipeline, quickly do something like shut it off, because if it's vibrating, it might be getting ready to explode.
Yeah.
So therefore, right? So therefore, the low latency is extremely important. Well, I'll give one more example. Another is really around being able to handle high volume of devices, close to like 1 million in 1 square kilometer. This could be really relevant in mines. 50% of a mine's cost is power. If you know when the mine is completely uninhabited, you can do things like turn off the air ventilation system and save a lot of money. You also need, from a safety perspective, to be able to handle that many devices, which the mobile network is uniquely set up to do for safety. Because sometimes it's dark down there and people get run over. And I mean, that's one of the biggest problems that mines face is that sort of personal safety. So those are just some examples, Joe. I guess I could go on forever, but to give a flavor.
We could use the whole session just talking about that. Yeah. Thank you for that. And Colin, from the APAC side of things, and you've touched, because you said that actually we've been using AI for years, but now we're looking at these new types of AI. In terms of the capabilities that Todd was just talking about, where are you seeing the most activity is probably the best way to phrase that in the APAC region around the AI topics.
Okay, I think the one of the issue that in the past, when people using so-called traditional AI or classical AI, all these are actually embedded into the machines, right? So we are now looking at a lot of this AI that how first thing first is how to make use of AI capability. At the same time, the data will be still within the plant, because a lot of these data are very sensitive. For instance, the engineering data, process data. I don't think the manufacturer will allow this data to be put in a cloud or whatever. So I think one of the 5G technology, for instance, the MEC, right? Multi-access or edge computing come in very, very nicely, because first thing first is you are able to retain your data in your plant. So it's very secure. Secondly is, I think if you work with a lot of these so-called hyperscaler, they are able to port some of these large language model to the edge. So meaning you have first thing first secure data, high speed data, low latency data, together with this so-called edge AI. So I think that will make all this manufacturing to become very, very smart, at the same time very secure. So I think this is one of the plan, so-called vision and the dream they want to achieve. So I think that if we are able to talk to these plant managers talking about these two areas, and another issue actually, for me, I think I work in the manufacturing plant for many, many years. One of the issue is in a manufacturing plant, as compared with a lot of other consumer application, in a manufacturing plant is very noisy. When I say noisy, meaning a lot of this so-called electromagnetic noise that generated by all this heavy industry actually disrupt a lot of this wireless technology. For instance, a lot of this Wi-Fi, it doesn't work in the factory because it's just so noisy that the Wi-Fi signal cannot get through. So if we look at our 5G, I think 5G, we have embedded a lot of this algorithm that allow this communication to actually still able to communicate at a very high speed and high volumes without loss. I think this is one of the very key features of why people are looking at 5G. So to me, I think this is very a few very important key features that this 5G can bring into the factory floor. So as I said, I think factory floor is very, very noisy. So how to ensure that your communication, your cybersecurities, your data are able to send through from point to point. I think this is one of the features that if we are able to talk to the plant managers or the owner of the factory, I think they will realize that I think 5G is not just, like what you say, you're able to see video, you're able to sort of send some of these graphic things like that. It's more than that, right? So I think this is one of the feature we should actually explain to the plant owner or even the CEO of the plant, which is from there, then they will say that, okay, I think 5G there's something they need to really look at it on mid-term to long-term and how to plan their budget. Because a lot of times people look at 5G, it's very expensive, right? So this is one of the big issue that a lot of times 5G are unable to push to some of these even big company. We don't even mention about the SME, which is a very resource constraint.
Absolutely. And I think, understanding the return on investment and the total cost of ownership and the investment up front, I think it's a little bit around understanding that, isn't it? I think we'll come back to that, hopefully, if we'll have time. But before we do that, I'd like to go to Jayant to ask you for your sort of specific experience. So having deployed 5G in factories, what have you seen? I know that Pegatron is using some AI data-driven solutions. So what kind of things are you seeing that's being supported by that 5G network?
Yeah. So for us, as I said, in Batam, Indonesia, we have this trifecta of three things. One is the devices which we manufacture, so 5G camera. You have the 5G network that's deployed there. That's again from us. And then you have the AI servers, again, designed, manufactured by Pegatron, and the AI applications that run on it for our factories are done by our AI division. And what we have, so that's like a trifecta that we have. And there what we have seen, because we do electronics manufacturing, there is a lot of delicate manual work that requires, sometimes you have machines, at times you have a delicate manual work as well. So you need to get, the sooner you catch you troubleshoot any issue, at the source, the better it is to catch it then and there and fix it. So with 5G camera and then this AI application which runs off servers which are deployed in the factory and they're not on the cloud, we have seen improvements in faster troubleshooting on production line, no stoppage of production line. You get an instantaneous feedback to the production teams. There's a constant quality control. That's one aspect. Second aspect, obviously, and this has been covered both by Fadli and the colleague from Nokia on surveillance. And there are so many applications that you do with camera and especially 5G camera, let's say in this case, with AI. So you do have things like authorization through facial recognition, restricted area movement, safety gear recognition, and also monitoring hazardous materials in industry. It's one of the applications that we have done for a deployment in Taiwan. It's a petroleum plant, oil unloading, unloading process, etc. So so we have seen practical applications and seen the benefits of using these components together.
Fantastic. It's great to hear. I'm watching the time, and we are coming close to the end of the time. I think we might have an extra minute or two, but maybe if I can go to sort of wrapping up. I think one of the things that we know, I mean, I've seen reports that are telling me that many manufacturing and industrial organizations are very interested in deploying AI. But what that means, we don't know too much beyond that interest. So maybe if I can go to a last question that can help wrap up this session. What advice or what one thing should a manufacturer do tomorrow if they wanted to get started with, I'm going to say AI, but how about a digital transformation that's using AI technologies? So I'm going to ask that of all three people. So who would like to go first with that?
Okay, maybe I go first.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think the Singapore realized these problems many years back when German tried to push the Industry 4.0. It sounds very good strategy, but a lot of times SME don't know how to do it. So Singapore government, we have actually invested a couple of millions to develop a framework. We call it a series, Smart Industry Readiness Index. So this series framework inside, there's one component. There are actually three components. One is the process, people, process, and technology. So under technology, there are another three components, which is automations, connectivity, and intelligence. So intelligence, we are referring to the AI. We found that a lot of SME, without a framework, they are very difficult to understand how to put all this technology together. So in fact, we train a pool of the so-called Siri SSS to go to the industry to show them the framework. In fact, they can use the framework to do their own self-assessment. So we see many successful applications once they see this framework. So of course, we talk about the IoT, we talk about all the Industry 4.0 technology, connectivity, and more important thing, I think recently is also the cybersecurity. So if you look at the 5G technologies, already embedded a lot of the so-called industrial cybersecurities. For instance, I give an example, right? In the cybersecurity, we are talking about this network management and also network segregations. So if we are using the 5G network slicing technology, actually you are able to achieve that. At the same time, you're also taking care not only the application, you can go into very fine application, but at the same time, you're also taking care of cybersecurities. So I think this is where I think that a lot of these so-called features that embedded in the 5G have to be really sort of able to explain to the user so they can see the benefit. Once they can see the benefit, there's a chance for them to think that they want to improve in all these three areas: productivity, efficiency, and safety. Right. So I think they are looking at all these aspects, and if the 5G can achieve all these so-called the application, I'm sure that the investment for them is not really a big issue because they are able to improve their plant, by using the 5G technology.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Colin. So sort of at a country level, supporting the knowledge sharing for the industry to grow confidence in what could be possible for them, and giving a framework to help them to assess where they are and get to where they could be. Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. Who would like to go next? Todd, your thoughts?
I can say something quick. I mean, I think start now, ask for help, make it business driven, not IT driven. So you go after the low hanging fruit. Yeah. And then demystify what AI really is. It's not about removing jobs. It's making jobs better and then making businesses more competitive. I think if you do that, you will get somewhere quickly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, Todd. Thank you for that. And Jayant.
I concur with both Colin and Todd. And to me, I think they should, whichever company in whatever stage of manufacturing they are, they should look at what are the key issues, challenges they have today, or that they expect as they grow in the next 12 to 15 months? And can this private 5G and AI help them solve them, and who can help them? Because I think it's at the end of it, it's a matter of helping to solve them a problem that they require this. So yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah, it should be a business decision and not a technology decision.
No, exactly. Not a technology push. Try and find the solution to the problem that you're trying to solve. Fabulous. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. As always, we could have spent the whole 90 minutes just chatting about this subject, but thank you so much, everybody, for your time. And yeah, thank you to Colin, Todd, and Jay for joining. Much appreciated. Thank you also to
thank you so much, guys.
you have joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Can we? I think we can log out now, right?
Yes, I think thank you again for everyone. I do see still some question in the chat box or the Q&A button, but I will share this question and your contact to the speaker, and then let them follow up with you in the offline mode. Thank you very much. Looking forward to see you guys face in face in Barcelona or Jakarta on December. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.